Hello and welcome. Today we are going to continue where we left off from the previous session. We were discussing about classes, and we also discussed about a higher level of organizing code, which is modules. Alright, so before we begin with our session today, there was a question which we left off in the last session. Hey Yan,
Mm-hmm.
in the last session, we were discussing about importing modules, right? And
Uh, what modules?
importing modules, and
Oh yes.
we
Oh,
were yeah.
I forgot to write it.
Pardon, come again.
I forgot to write it.
Okay, that's fine. So, anyways, this will be uploaded very soon. Okay. Uh,
Mm,
but do you remember we were discussing about the problem we faced when we were adding our path to sys.path?
mm,
Do you remember? Okay, I will demonstrate what was the problem. Okay.
okay.
So let me just go to the path and quickly open IP and boom. All right. So do you remember we were trying to access a module which was in the folder called Fibonacci here,
Mm,
correct?
yes.
And we were trying to add the module
Mm,
from the interpreter prompt, correct?
yes.
So do you remember we were trying to add these two lines on the interpreter prompt like this,
Oh yes.
correct?
Mm, mm,
So and that wasn't working, correct?
mm,
If we try to do this, this was not working. Okay, so our path was indeed added, but when I try to run this, correct? When I try to run this module, this was the error, isn't it?
mm, yeah.
Right? And this was because
Mm,
that our, when we try to run from interpreter prompt, it is
mm,
not a permanent one. If you see, if you try to do this, now sys is out of scope. Okay,
mm,
this gets out of scope of our program. Okay, so what is the solution is that we don't have to do that. That was indeed for a demonstration purpose. But whenever you want to say add your path, before doing any stuff, you import this module. Okay, in the script where you are
mm,
running, and then do sys.path.append, so that this append remains for the current execution session, right?
mm,
You get it now? So now if I try to run this module, it runs fine. All right?
mm.
Any problem now?
No.
No. So it was just
Uh,
a problem of our scope of execution. Okay.
mm,
So
it's just
sys.path was
a.
going out of scope. Yeah. Go ahead.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, you were asking something. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. The audio quality today is not very good, so uh, I can't hear you clearly.
You can't hear me clearly.
Mm.
Okay. But I don't think there is a problem in the audio.
I don't know what's the problem, but the audio quality is not as clear as usual.
Uh huh. I didn't get you.
Mm. Oh.
Okay, shall I mute you?
Yes.
Maybe. And then you can write down in the question window, right?
Mm,
Okay. Is it better now? No? Okay. 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 I'm not sure. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. Does it sound better now?
no,
No.
but but I can still hear you. There's just a lot of noise. I think we can start. We can try start like this.
Okay. All right. Maybe if you find it very difficult, just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. At least this problem is clear now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We go ahead with the session, and if you find any difficulty, just let me know.
Mm,
Ping me on the question window. Okay.
okay.
Okay. All right. Great. So let's now start resume our session, which was at this point, and you guessed it very right that self was pointing to the current object in this case, and which was going to be B's object, and hence both the outputs were same. All right. So we discussed about uh, how do you create a class, how do you write an initializer method, that is a constructor which is in other languages, and what is the purpose of self, how do you inherit a class. All right. Now let's see some more examples where we can understand it in a better way. All right. So what we're trying to do here is canvas. Canvas is a class we have created, and this again becomes the initializer method where we are giving the width and height of a shape. Then we have three methods which are again class methods, which has got self as the first argument. So you set the pixel, get the pixel, and display it. Okay, let me just pull this out. If I'm trying to make the question window a bit bigger. Okay, all right. Here I go. Okay, so that I don't miss your questions if at all you write a question. Okay, fine. So we have a class again. We are trying to draw shapes and get the pixel and set the pixel based on a row and column number. All right. So we can set a particular index as star and get the same index value if it is set or not. And then we are trying to display what we get. Alright, it's a very simple class. We're trying to draw a shape given a width and height. Alright. And this, the self.data which you see over here is nothing but it is a list comprehension. Okay. Okay, so what it does is, for the given height and width, it initializes this data to blank. So at the beginning, my shape has got no drawing, right? It has not got any filling, okay? Whereas when we will draw or set the pixels, it is going to be marked with stars. Alright, wherever we give, that is the row and column. So whatever row and column we mention here, we pass to the set pixel, is going to set it. As simple as that. Alright, okay. Now, what we are doing here is, we got another one. Okay, this is for drawing the like the canvas, and this is a shape. So we got the shape, and what the shape is doing is going to paint the canvas. Right. So pass is a null operation. What is pass? Where do you see pass is here. So when do we write pass? So for example, if you write down a class, say my class, and leave it empty. I mean, my purpose is, my intention is that I want to just design it right now, design my program, whereas I want to implement it at some later point of time. Okay, so is it fine? Is this fine leaving the class empty? This is not valid. You should have something inside the class implementation. Say for example, if you want to implement the functionality in this class at some point, not now, you need to have at least one statement which is called pass. It does nothing but just says, hey, I mean, I'll be doing this stuff later, not now. Okay, so it just passes. Alright, so you cannot leave the class implementation as empty. You need to have at least one statement in the class. Okay, so what this says is, I have got the class shape, a method paint, okay, which is going to take, I don't know right now, I have not done it, I have not implemented it. Probably it's going to take the canvas as the input and going to paint this canvas. Another class square, which is inheriting from rectangle class, okay, okay. So what is square? Square is again a shape, a specific case of a rectangle, isn't it? So a rectangle is something like this, square is like this, maybe. Okay, my drawing is good here. Okay, all right. So as I said, rectangle square is a specific case of a rectangle where all sides are equal. Okay. All right. So that is why we are inheriting the class square from the class rectangle here. All right. So again, we have another class which is compound shape, inheriting from shape. This class has got its own initializer method. Okay, and it is overriding the paint method which is in its parent class. Yeah. Alright. So which is going to be called first? When you create an object of compound shape, for example, and try to paint that compound shape. It's an arbitrary shape. Say for example, this is my shape, or rather, okay. Why does this goes bad? Alright, it's a pentagon, right? I want to fill it, I want to paint it. That is why I am saying that this belongs to compound shape class. And when I am trying to paint this, it's going to paint, it's going to paint based on not this method, rather based on this paint method which is available in the current object, which is the child object, right? Okay. Okay, here is another example where, so what we are trying to see is different sorts of scenarios where you inherit and you implement the classes and subclasses and objects, right? Okay, all right. So the rectangle class, okay, rectangle class has got, okay, what is a rectangle? Rectangle is which has got four sides, okay, the opposite sides being equal, okay. So, okay, all right. So let me answer your question. Yeah, you have asked very good question. Okay, the question you have asked is why does this particular init call has got two sizes? Am I right? Okay, is it what you're asking? Okay, great. So you see, there's like a mismatch in the slide. I cannot put in both the slides here. Okay, it has come here in fact. Okay, this is what we are trying to discuss. And if you see the rectangle, see square class is inheriting from rectangle class. Okay, but we are trying to initialize this. So our initializer method for square class in turn is calling the initializer method for the parent class, which is the rectangle class. And if you notice the initializer method in the rectangle class, it has got four parameters. Alright, x and y and width and height. Alright, now this is x, this is y, and since it's a square, both are going to be same. I mean, all sides are equal. Alright, so that's why we are passing both have size and size. So width and height becomes equals. Okay, alright, great that you got it. Thank you very much. Uh, okay, I'm not going to explain each and everything over here because it's just like, as I said, it's a matter of understanding how you make classes, how you make subclasses, how you write down an initializer method for it, and which would be called when you create an object, and so on. Right? This is very important to understand what would be called when, right? So that you don't end up creating mess. Okay. And in fact, since this will be shared in the LMS, you can go through the slides, okay, and you can ask questions. You can email me your questions if you have any. All right. Okay. Okay, this is now a real-time example how it is happening now. Okay. So now we are trying to create a canvas. Where was the canvas? Canvas is here. Okay. Now an object of canvas is created, which is at C, and then we are trying to draw a rectangle at the position 2020 0 0. Okay. What will happen at 2020 0 0? So what is this? What is this part? Do you get this part? Okay, so let me just unmute you here. Okay, do you get this portion? What we're trying to do here? So when we are passing, yeah, go ahead.
There is no rectangle.
There is no rectangle. So it's an initialization with 0 0. Okay. So, but what would happen? This is clear, right? So we are trying to make an object of rectangle class. Okay. And we know that when we try to create an object, the initializer method would be called. Okay. This would be called, and hence it would expect 4 arguments, isn't it? And hence we are giving 4. If you give 3 over here, what's going to happen? Error, isn't it? Okay, great. So now we try to create a canvas, create a rectangle, paint a rectangle or canvas, right? So the idea is clear, right? We are basically creating a canvas, and we are actually creating a rectangle, though it is not exactly practically done over here. So what you would do ideally in an ideal scenario is you would give some parameters which are like some width and height, okay, some width and height, and then you would fill this and you would paint this. This is a very good example of understanding on the class scenarios. All right. Hope everything is clear till here. Okay. And now let's go ahead. Okay. Fine. So this is a little about operator overloading. Right. What do you mean by operator overloading? Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so as you know that when we try to do an operation, what is required? Operator and operands, isn't it? So the operator might be operating on a single operand, or it might also operate on multiple operands. Okay. We do not have a unary operation which we have in other languages like plus plus or minus minus, right? So in this case, let's take a very simple example where we are trying to add. So what is the operator we are using? Is add. And what are the operands? Is B and A. Alright. So two operands and one operator. We're trying to add them. They are numbers, and addition works like expected. Okay, it's an addition operation now in this case. But what adds? It adds numbers, right? And when we're trying to operate this on strings, it's called concatenation. Alright, so we are having only one operator, but the functionalities are different. We are overloading the operator to perform different operations. The operator is going to be same, but the operations are varying here. Internally, your addition or the plus operation calls up this special method, which is double underscore add double underscore. Alright, and it does this way. The same operation, that is, if you look at this, a plus b happens in this way internally. And that is why it is shown here that if you do this on the interpreter prompt also, you're going to get the same output. Alright. And hence, this could be used to add not only numbers, you can add different objects with this operation. Similarly, you have, if I talk about some operators like plus, minus, multiply, division, these are the special methods which are internally dealt upon, and this is the output of that. Okay, so fine. Okay, let's see how this special class method can be used to do some stuff. I'm trying to create a class. Okay, my class. It has got an initializer where I have a class member which is x initialized to 0. Okay, and I am overloading. So I'm trying to say that, hey, my addition operation is going to be calling not the default add method, whereas it's going to call my add method, my special add method. Okay, and what it's going to do is that whatever object I pass in, it's going to add it to the class member. Okay, it's going to add to x. Okay, so how does it work? Let's create an object. So I created an object m, and I tried to add 1 to m. Okay, now what happens is, can you tell me what would be the output? So I'm trying to print m dot x now here. I'm trying to add again, and I'm trying to print m dot x again. So what would happen when I'm doing this? After this step, what would be the output, you think? 1. Okay, next. So this you're saying is 1. I'm sorry, not here. I mean the output would be here. So it is 1 you're saying. What is the output here? Is it going to be same, do you think, or is it going to increment it? Okay. So, okay, you don't know this anymore. All right, let's see. Oh my goodness, I don't have output here. How is that possible? Okay, I have something. There should be. Okay. All right. So what we would do is, let's try to do it here. Okay. Quickly, let me try to open up idle. Okay, any guesses? At least we would see the actual output. You can meanwhile guess what can be the output. what I'm going to do is create the same thing here, class, my class. Okay, then I say def in my initializer, and then self.x is 0. I don't need a semicolon over there, and I say def my special method add and self b. Alright, and I say self.x equals to b. Alright, great. I have a class now. Okay, fine. I should be doing this stuff down here. M is equals to my class. Okay, m plus 1. So what would happen? M plus 1, if I say, I don't have to do this, I should say print m.x. Okay, alright, and then I say plus and plus 1 again, then print m.x. Alright, sounds good. Let's save it here with class operator. Okay, let me try to run this. Yep. So no hint. What do you think? Any idea what it should be? So the first output you say is going to be 1. Alright. So what do you think is going to happen? When you say object plus 1, right, add would be called. Okay. Whenever you say plus, right, so whenever you say plus over here, this add is going to be called, right, with b as 1. So self.x now would be x now would be 1. Do you agree? Okay. And then we are doing the plus operation again. Now what is going to happen is m. So now the question is x going to retain its value? Right? Is x going to retain its value? If it's going to retain its value, what would be the output? It would be 2. Isn't it? Okay, let's try to run this. Hooray! It's 2. Right? And why 2? Why do you think it has come as 2? Yeah? Any idea? Yeah? Because the object is still in scope. Yeah? Okay. Do you understand this part? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? So it's going to be 1 and 2. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Is the audio better now?
Still the same.
It's still the same. Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. I think we'll have to manage with this today. I don't know what exactly is the problem, but okay, alright. So this was about operator overloading, and we try to see that how can we make overload the existing operators, because we need to know one thing over here, that we need to know the special method corresponding to the operator, right? If we had not known that plus corresponds to the special method underscore add, we could not have done this, right? We need to know the special method underlying the operator. All right, let's move forward with some of the concepts in exceptions. Okay, what do you understand by exceptions? A very basic definition of exceptions. Exceptions are error events, right? Exceptions are events, but what sorts of events are these exceptions? Any idea? Can you give me a small definition of exception? Have you ever done any exception handling in any other language? No? Alright. Okay. No problem. So now let's see, let's understand this correctly. Okay, what exception means is these are runtime errors. Or to be very precise, runtime error events. Okay, this is the very precise definition of exception. Okay, so when you try to run a code, like you remember the code I ran just now, not this, oops, where is it gone? All right, this one. So what happens if I try to say, what if I try to say print 1 plus string? What should happen now is it should give some error, isn't it? I run this. Oh yeah. Okay. So you see what is this here out here? You get is this is what is called exception, right? You get a runtime error saying the cause of the error and what is the consequence of exception or the error is that program halts without executing further. Okay, so do you think that these statements would have executed to any extent? Okay, at least where we have got error, we have got error over here. Do you agree? Okay, so beyond this point, do you really think that any of these statements would have executed or got a chance to execute? No, because the error occurred here, the runtime error occurred here, and the program execution stopped. Alright, great. So this is like any error event which causes the program to come to stop. Right? Any program which causes exception stops at that point without running the statements further to it. Okay. So these events, are they good? Are these error events good for your program? No, because you don't want your program to stop or halt without normally exiting. Right? We always want our program to exit normally, right? And that is not happening in this case. Exception is causing the program to terminate abnormally, right? So how can we avoid this situation? How can we handle these exceptions? Right. Okay, so let's try to understand. These exception handling can happen in multiple ways, but the basic elements being try and accept. Try and accept. So try and accept are the keywords or the statements in Python which handle your exceptions. Okay, so this is how typically try and accept will catch an exception. What is catching an exception? It's catching and handling is same, right? We are handling an exception. So you put some sort of statements in try. We call it try and accept block also sometimes. Try, accept, try, accept block. Okay. So in the try block, okay, let me just draw it over here. So this block you see is the try block, and in this try block, what you put? Okay. So here you put the dangerous code. The dangerous code in the sense the code which you think that might cause any problem while running the program. That is the dangerous code. You always should put, it's a good practice to put all your dangerous code in the try block, and then corresponding to that, if at all any problem might happen with that execution code, should be handled in the following except block. Okay. So I'm trying to say that I'm expecting in this scenario, in this particular piece of code which you see here, in this particular scenario, I am expecting an IO error. Okay. I'm expecting only an IO error. And if an IO error happens, I'm going to print out some useful statements which might give some detailed information about the exception. Okay, or you can do any sort of handling you want to do inside the except block once your error is caught in this except block. Okay, this is how a very basic exception handling works. Okay, there are many ways to do that. We'll see some more cases in the following slides. So let's come to the next point, which says you can raise exception using raise keyword, raise statement, right? How can you raise? So for example, if you reach a point of 100, say for example you are executing a code which goes from 1 to 100, not 1 to 100, say 1 to 500, but when you reach a point of 100, you want to alarm, you want to create an alarm, you want to raise something, right? So this for Python, this is not an exception, this is not a normal exception, but you as a programmer want to create an exception out of this, that when my level reaches 100, I want to raise an error situation, right? I want to raise an alarm, I want to raise an alarming or error situation saying I have reached this particular level point. And this is how you do it. You say raise exception and then you give the error message which you want to raise the exception with. Okay, so last point is that all your exceptions are subclasses of the main class exception. Exception is the parent most class. This in fact IO error is a subclass. So what I would suggest you to do is that go to python.org, okay, and just read out some of the exception, very useful exception classes and how do you raise them. Okay, go here and read about exception classes. Okay. The one of the exception which is shown here is IO error. It is again an exception class inherited from the base exception class. Alright, let's see the code on the right hand side. What does it say? So there is a class, okay, it has got self. It's like almost the same scenario like before. But what I'm saying is now if my self.x has reached the level 5, right? Whenever it has reached the level 5, I want to raise an exception. I want to raise an alarm, right? So you see the down, the execution of it. I created an object of the class. I'm trying to add 6 to this. Okay. So what happens? In the next time, so this time does it add? Yes, because x was 0 in this case, right? And now x becomes 6. Next time when I try to add, x tries to become more than 6, but it is already exceeding 5, and hence an exception is raised with the text message which you have given inside the codes in the argument. Alright, this is a very basic form of exception handling we are doing here, but it is very useful and most of the cases you will be following this. So don't forget that try and accept are very basic building blocks of any exception handling. Alright, okay, based on our previous thing, can you just give me an output of this particular program? Yeah, any idea? Okay, don't, okay, there is one thing, okay, fine. Forget about this part of code, we are not discussed about this. So till here, just if you assume that my code is only this much, what do you think the output could be? Don't think about else and finally here. A and 2. Okay, that's the output. Okay, and why is that the output now? Do you understand why this has come? Why have we got A, B, D as the output? Forget about the D part, but why B? Why A and B? Why not A, do? Right? This is very important to understand here. In this particular code, there was no except. Do you agree? There was no except block over here, right? And hence, whenever this exception happened, there was no one to catch this. And hence we got this print as the output. But now here in this case, immediately as an exception is raised with whatever error message, let it be, it's going to ignore that, it's going to try to catch this in the immediate except block. And hence, this exception is now handled. Okay. Now this exception is not an error, so that we don't get the doomed message, because it doesn't go unhandled. It is handled here in the following except block. and hence this is not printed, and you get B as the output. Does this sound good to you? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So doom is just an error message. It is not named for the exception. Doom is just an error message when that exception is unhandled. It is not handled, then you get the doom message, right? If at all this exception which we are trying to raise is not handled in the sense there is no except block over here, then yes, doom should be printed. Make sense? Yeah. So doom is not the name of the exception. Okay. Doom is just an error message, just another string, just another message which will be displayed if that exception happens. Exception happens in the sense it is not handled. All right. Now, and why do we get D also as the output? So we need to understand these two other blocks, which are else and finally. Okay, so what happens is this is like complete family block. If I talk about complete exception handling, this is what you can do with that. Okay, else block. Let me try to change this color, and I say which color, which color. Let's select blue. Is it blue? Okay, all right. Anyways, yeah. So the else block, this block executes if exception doesn't occur. Okay, if the exception here is not, if this is not executed, then this is executed. Okay, so if there is no exception, else part, else code block executes. And what is finally for? Whatever happens, whatsoever happens, this block is going to execute, is going to execute every time, always, or you can say a better thing is always. Okay, so this else block executes. So once again, let's try to put it this way. This is better. So this block, except block, executes if exception happens. All right. Does this sounds good? All the blocks and the functionality. There is no if before raise exception. Okay, so you have asked if there is no if before the raise exception. Does that mean the exception you raise will always happen? There is no if before raise. Okay. Yes, exactly. So in this given piece of code, this exception is always going to happen irrespective of any condition. If you put this raise inside any condition, that is going to be matched with the true or false. If the condition satisfied, then we raise. Usually, in most of the cases, is this how you raise an exception. This is how you would want to raise an exception like this. I mean, you put a condition that, hey, if this exceeds this limit, I want to raise an exception, right? This is not how you want to raise. This is just a question part. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So are these three blocks very very clear? Not in fact three, four. So here is where you put the dangerous code. Okay. My handwriting might not look that great. Dangerous code. Okay. So dangerous code is put here. If this dangerous code really produces any danger, yeah. If this produces danger, where are we going to go? We're going to go at the exception, except block. Okay. If there is no danger, and so this is optional. These two blocks are completely optional. Else and finally are optional. Alright. If at all you want to do something, if exception does not happen, is where you would put else. And say for example, whatsoever happens in your code doesn't matter if the exception has happened or something blah blah has happened, doesn't matter. Finally block is going to execute every time. Alright, is everything clear so far? Okay, great. That's great. Okay. Okay, so here we come to end of this session where we discussed about the classes, the function constructors, overloading, raising exception, exception handling, alright, the inheritance, and we discussed few more examples in the classes. That was the canvas and how did we inherit the rectangle class, the square class from rectangle, and how did we pass in the arguments and so on, right? We discussed mostly in the areas of classes and object-oriented things, all right, and a bit of exception handling. All right, so let us proceed with our next session. Not session, in fact, it's going to be the next presentation, which is about regular expression. Okay, so let's, I want to keep those. Okay, and I come at regular expression. Okay. All right. So, yeah, what do you know about regular expression? Do you have any idea on regular expression? All right. Okay. So these regular expressions are very powerful. In fact, very very powerful. The most powerful searching mechanism, right? Where you want to search very complex things in a very simpler way, right? Say you have a huge data, right? And say you have a database of emails, okay, and you want to figure out who sent me mail. That is inbox, right? You categorize your mailbox as inbox and sent and so on, right? So I'm just concerned about, say, what if not, if your this categorization was not there in your mailbox, it would have been very tedious thing, isn't it? Understanding, reading out, did I send this or did I receive this mail, right? So, and this categorization is basically done based on some characteristics of the email, right? So I want to understand, I want to figure out my received mails, that is inbox, right? I received some mails and uh, I want to know, did I receive it or did I send it? Okay. So this is a very, very simple scenario where you can use regular expression to filter out or search your desired pattern. Okay, but regular expressions really are much more powerful than what I am discussing now. Okay, they they are used for very complex search jobs where your normal string search doesn't work that effectively. Okay, well, let's begin with regular expressions. Okay, it's so here I put a definition which has come from Wikipedia. Okay, what it says is in computing a regular expression, also referred to as regex or regexp, okay, provides a concise and flexible means for matching strings of text, such as particular characters, words, or patterns of characters. Right. So as I said, it's a very powerful tool for searching in very complex scenario. In fact, if you have a very simple scenario, you can search, but though you can accomplish those simple searches using your regular string search methods like find and all, right? But in your complex scenarios, you really cannot. We will see how we really cannot use find method in this string to search those. Okay. So next what it says is, so basically what it means is that it is a short term named as regex or regex. Okay, and it is basically for matching strings of text. Okay, words or patterns in some pattern in your text. Okay, a regular expression is written in a formal language that can be interpreted by a regular expression processor. Right. So you have, so Python has a module which is called RE. Okay, RE is a very powerful. I'm repeating the powerful because it's really powerful. Okay, so RE is a module which would be doing all these regex tasks for us. Okay, really clever wildcard expressions for matching and parsing strings. We'll understand why we have called it as wildcard. Okay, you might have done some sort of regex things in your editors, right? Maybe if you have used VI editor in Linux or the Notepad plus plus in Windows, you might have used some sort of regular expression, or if not, at least you would have used in your Windows Explorer, right? You might have used something like star.py, right? So let me just show you over here. Okay, here in this window, if I search dot py, okay, so I don't get really to get anything. If I put star.py, okay, I don't have any files. Really or really? Okay, it's searching actually. Okay, so what does this really mean is that we are typing in a regex. This is a regex, right? This is a regular expression we are trying to put over here and try to see if if we have anything matching this regular expression. Okay, so there might be something to understand this regular expression. It's not like oh great, you see here. So I've got all the files with the extension .py. So I've got all Python files listed over here. Okay, just by putting a very simple expression. So the point to be noted here is that, see, I have not input any specific file name, whereas I am saying that match me everything beginning with, I don't care whatever it begins with, but it really must end with .py. What I'm concerned about is that my files should have the extension .py. Alright, sounds good. Yeah, it's a very simple real-time example where you really use regular expression in your day-to-day life. Great. Okay, this is mm, okay. So do you see the find which is shown here? Where is the find? Okay, I'm trying to find here. I'm trying to find regular. Okay, and it actually matches, you know, uh, the the text in the given data, right? It exactly matches where how many times it has. So it says really right more than 100 matches. This again is a like a use case of a regular expression. All right. Okay. So few points which I put here. It's very powerful and quite cryptic. Fun once you understand them. Okay, initially it might really sound as something. Hey, it's very messy. Uh, I don't want to use that. Really, somebody can implement and give me. That's fine. Initially, you might really feel like that, but if you play around with regular expressions, they're really fun, and you're going to see the power of it. All right. So don't hesitate using regular expressions wherever you have any search job. All right. Regular expressions are a language unto themselves. So really, if you see in the coming slides and how we write regular expressions, you might feel at some point when you're doing a lot of regular expressions, you might find that they are a kind of language in themselves. Okay. So a language of marker characters. You mostly would be playing with the characters which are understood by the regular expression processor. All right. So whoever is processing it, underlying, eh, is understanding a special language, right? And what are those, right? We will be dealing mostly with some characters which are understood by the processor, right? And they have some special meanings which we'll be discussing in the further slides. All right. Okay, old school language, compact. Compact is really compact. We saw, right? We just by writing star dot py, we got whole lot of matchings, right? It's very compact, isn't it? Just by writing this much, we could match all lot of files with .py extensions. All right, great. Okay, here is the fun part. Okay. Whenever I learn a new skill, I concoct elaborate fantasy scenarios where it lets me save the day. Okay, so here's a bit conversation. Says, oh no, the killer must have followed her on vacation. Okay, and then, but to find them, we'd have to search through 200 MB of emails looking for something formatted like an address. So she's trying to find out who was the killer, right? But to figure it out, she really has to spend a lot of time figuring out where some address is. There's the email. And the boy says it's hopeless. Everybody stand back. Some sound comes from the background. I know regular expressions. Boom. Yeah. He just comes in, in a flash. Problem is solved. Yeah, he knows regular expression. He types in regular expression, and boom, they get the address of the killer. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So, if you know regular expression, yeah, you can solve the mysteries of FBI. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. This is a very important guide. Okay. This should be available uh, if you Google it, okay, but we have put it down here, and uh, you can just go through this when we share this to you, okay. But this is going to be your reference guide for all your regular expression or regex. I would call it as regex now. You can use this regex table whenever you're writing any regular expression. This would be very handy. Okay, let's go through one by one. Okay, matches the beginning of line. Okay, let's try to see this in a practical demonstration. So let me open the. Okay, let me open the shell. All right, here I am. Okay, let me make it a bit smaller so that I can do both. Okay. Okay, let's try to see. I have got a string. Let's understand regular expressions. All right. Okay. Now, what does this caret? So, see, we're going to form the regular expression. When we say expression, right? This regular expression or regex is going to be formed out of these special characters or symbols. All right, and that's why we call that they are a language unto themselves. Okay, let's try to write a regular expression uh, which does this for us. Okay, before going here, let me see if I have a method. Okay, before going through all these characters, let's try to understand which is the method, which is the module which will be dealing with, which will be taking these characters or regex as inputs and matching with our string or given text. Alright, so before you can use regular expressions in your program, you must import the library using import RE. So RE is the module which would be doing all the regular expression tasks for you. Okay, so you need to import RE before using RE. Okay, then you can do re.search. So search is one of the methods available in the module to see if a string matches a regular expression, similar to using the find method. Okay, if I had to do a find in this, how would I do? I would say s.find. I want to find what? Understand. Yeah, it's there, right? I want to find under. It's there, isn't it? Now let's find something which is not there. Okay, I want to find reg x. Oh my god, it's not there. Alright, so it's very similar to the find method which is there in the string object, okay, but it's not much powerful. Okay, okay, so it's similar to that. We're going to use re.search to do that. Let's try to see import re, and let's see help on re.search. Okay, okay, this is how it does. Okay, help search says that it's going to take a pattern, and this pattern is going to be our regular expression. Okay, and then it's going to find out this pattern. Okay, any text which matches this pattern in this given string. Okay, and it returns the matched object if it finds that, otherwise none. Okay, let's try to see. Okay, so I've got s. Yes, s is still there, and I'm saying re.search, and my simple pattern would be, I'm not going into the forming of, in fact, if you give the complete substring or the string to be found in the pattern field, it's going to be a regular expression. I mean, we call it as a regular expression, but not a pure regular expression. It doesn't contain until it contains any regex characters. Okay, I'm going to say I want to find understand in the string s. Okay, what you see over here is that as we saw in the help, that we're going to get a matched object if that pattern matches with any string in the S, right? Okay, all right. Now we've got another method which is find all, okay, which is this. You can use re.findAll to extract portion. Now this search method, wherever it finds the first place, like the first search, for example, if I say S, right? Now if I say S is equals to S, what? Let's try to create another one. Duplicate is equal to S plus understand. Okay. Now I duplicate is what? Okay. So okay, there is no space, but the understand has repeated twice. What regular expression search would do is, if you do re.search and understand now, it's not going to figure out both the matching text, but only the first one. So whenever it matches the first, it just stops there and says, hey, I have figured out a text matching your pattern, given pattern. All right, now there is another method which is called find all, which actually would return, right? Which actually would return you all of the matching patterns found. Okay, in this case it says I have found only one. Okay, why so? Maybe it is messing up with the space over here. Or did I write it wrong? No, it's fine. Okay, so let's create another one. S1 or is string is this is regex session and edit is fine. Alright, now I say re.findAll. I want to find excuse me, I want to find is, yes, oops, okay, find out is why no find. Okay, this is crazy. I don't know, what did I make wrong here? The string is not S. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, re.findAll and is and string is. Yep. Thanks a lot for your very good attention. Yeah. Okay. So you see, the point to be noted here is that re.search would match only the first occurrence. Whenever it finds the first one, it just stops there, whereas find all will give you list of all all the found. And where do you think this is coming from? Okay. Why do you think the is has come as 3? But we have got only 2 is, isn't it? One is here, another one is here, this one. Why the third one? Where is the third one coming from? Oh, great. Yes, it's coming from this because we don't have any specific foundation that it should be part of any word, or it should be independent. Yeah. Okay. So find all whenever you want to extract all the matches, you should use find all. Whenever you want to check anything, quick check that, hey, is there anything matching this pattern in my string? Try to use search. It's very fast, right? The first occurrence is matched, and you can further proceed on your program. All right, now we are trying to understand all these given characters, special characters. Okay, let's take up a string, and I want to have a good string. I think this is good. Okay, this was good. So string is okay. This is the reggae session. This is okay. Well, this is good. Okay, now the first one. The first one says carrot, right? The first one says carrot, and it says it matches the beginning of a line. Okay, so it's like re dot search. I want to say carrot and begins with this. So in this string is, oops, I did not get any matched object. Why? Can you figure out the problem in this? I see a problem. Do you see a problem here? So the carrot character matches the beginning of a line. Exactly, the white space is the problem. So if I say re dot search and carrot and this, does it match? Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. It matches. Okay. So if you want to check anything is beginning with something, you should put a carrot character. All right. Similarly, we have the dollar. So I got search, and what do I say now? Dollar, and ending with what? Fun? I don't know. I don't remember what string was. Oh no. Okay, string is okay. It's ending again with dot and something. So rather, I would say what? Fun dot space. Does it work? No, still not. What's the problem? Okay, there are going to be a lot of instances like this where I type in something and I miss it and boom, I'm stuck. Okay. Hmm. Let me figure out what is the problem here. There's just one space, isn't it? And fun dot. Okay. Okay, I'll see to it. Okay, let's continue with that. let's not waste time here. I'll see why dollar is not giving me dollars. Okay, let's move on to the dot. Dot matches any character other than new line. Okay, so it works like this. Okay, search, and I say dot. Okay, and in string is. Okay, and what do you think the match is? What do you think this dot would have matched? This, so we have got a match, and I want to understand what this matches. Yeah, any idea what this dot would have matched with in our given string? String is? The definition says it matches any character other than new line. So what do you think it would have matched in our string? Yeah? No, not every character. Okay, it matches only a single character. Okay, and where does it start with? Our string starts with a white space, isn't it? And it matches the first character it finds, that is the white space. Okay, if going forward we're going to see how can we match each and every character. Okay, the next one says matches white space. So again, if we say re.search and \s and string is it going to give a mapped object? Yes, because there are a lot of white spaces in our string. Okay, re.search. Similarly for \S, string is, yes, it's going to match any non-white space. We have got a lot of non-white space too. Yeah. Here comes a very good one, which is star. It repeats a character 0 or more times, right? Now this is a magic. Now this is going to say that dot. Okay. Now what dot does is, okay, dot matches any character other than new line character. Okay. So other than new line character, whenever you put dot in your regular expression, regex, it's going to match any character, yeah, other than new line. So whenever it's in this case, whenever it starts matching, okay, it will just figure out the first character, which is white space, and it says I am matched a character. Okay. Now dot matches any character, but remember this is matching only a single character. We're not saying how many characters we want to match. Alright, here is where we are saying that dot and star. Okay, what dot and star does is we're saying that we're going to repeat this pattern. Excuse me. We're going to repeat this pattern. What is the pattern? The pattern is dot. So, and how many times? Repeats a character 0 or more times. Okay. So even if there is no character, it would match. Okay. And I will show you. Okay. How does it work? So dot star and string is. Now it's going to match. Now it's going to match all of the characters. Okay. Because what star says is that whatever regex character we have got before star is going to match that. any number of times, but 0 or more. Like there is a difference. We'll see star and plus. So now this is going to match completely. Okay, I'm going to put this in find all, so that find all. Okay, find all and dot star string is. Okay, you see it has matched everything. Okay, now let's see. And what is this star question mark? Let's try to see. Let's try to understand. This is very important. Now, if I say find all and dot star, but a question mark at the end now. Okay. Now this is my regex pattern. Okay. And I say string is. What does it match? Now it will try to match any character. I'll explain you one by one. Okay. So it's trying to match any character which is specified by dot 0 or more times. Okay. But in a non-greedy fashion. This question mark is for non-greedy. Non-greedy in the sense it's going to find out the minimum allowed search pattern, minimum allowed search text. So what is the minimum this pattern could search for? Any character 0 times. That means a blank, which we have got here, right? It tried to match this also, because this is also a match according to this pattern. 0 or more times. 0 times is also a match. Remember, star matches the preceding regex character 0 or more times. Okay, that is why the find all has given us two searches. One is the max found search, which is any character repeated any number of times. I mean more than one times, and this one is 0 times. So what is this going to give us? Since I said it is a non-greedy search, you see, do you understand this part? This is very important, that it tries to search only the what do you say, minimum match found in non-greedy way. Okay, all right. So minimum match is nothing because of dot star. Okay. Now we're trying to see the next one is plus. Okay. Plus matches 1 or more times. So similar thing, if we just, and let me copy paste this, not this one, not this one, this one. Okay, if I copy and paste it here, okay, and I say star plus, okay, boom. Do you see a difference here in the plus search and in the star search output? What is the difference that you see here? Do you find any difference out here? Yeah, we have a very significant difference here, which says that this element is not here. The blank is not found here because plus says 1 or more times, not 0 or more times. Plus says I need to find out any character 1 or more times, occurring 1 or more times. Okay. Okay, and then again plus and question mark is going to do this search in a non-greedy fashion. Okay. The next one is AEIOU. Whenever you do something like, square bracket, whatever you put inside the square bracket like this, It is not that it will try to find out any string with A, E, I, O, U. No. It is just saying that, hey, I want to include that if I find any of these characters, a single characters, remember, single character, okay, I'm going to give it a yes that it is found, okay. Now there is a difference in the use of caret symbol, using it outside, using it inside the square brackets. There is a significant difference. Okay, the difference is that matches and single character not in the list. Now it is negating. Okay, try to understand this. It is negating. Now when we use the caret symbol uh, inside the square bracket, that is the searchable block, we are saying that I don't want to find any character which is out of these x, y, and z. Okay, it's negating that. Okay, similarly, now this one says if there is any character at the given position which is from this range A to Z or 0 to 9, okay, which is from A to Z or 0 to 9, I'm going to say it a find. Okay, okay, and this one says the okay, if we say small bracket start, small bracket end, this is called grouping. Okay, this is called grouping. Okay, grouping means that we want to extract only that part of the search pattern. Though we are finding many, but the extraction would happen only for the whatever pattern is inside the grouping characters. That is small bracket start and end. Okay. So far, any doubt? Everything is clear? You have any doubt? Okay, good. It's clear is good. Fine. No. Now this is we have already seen, and okay. Okay, this is a very good example where we have differentiated between normal find and search. Normal find is using the find method. Okay, the find method is finding what here if it starts from the word from. Okay, now we are figuring out what emails which have this particular word which is from colon in the beginning. Similarly, you have used re.search to do that same thing. There's no much difference out here. Let's understand more. Okay, now we have fine-tuned our search pattern by giving caret symbol at the beginning of the regex. Okay, this is the fine tuning we are doing now. Okay. Now dot character, since the dot character matches anything other than the new line. Okay, if you add the asterisk character, the character is any number of times. Okay, we have already seen this similar kind of thing. What we are saying here is I'm trying to figure out all the lines which start with X followed by dot. Dot is what? That any dot is any character followed by any number of times, and then ending with a colon. Okay, so whatever you see in the yellow part, so these are the lines, these are complete lines. Okay, these are complete lines and whatever you see in the yellow part is what is searched out of this regex. Okay, so what is searched out of this regex is starting with X, true. My line is starting with X, that's true, and it is following by any character. Yes, I have got dash, S, I, V, any character, any number of times. But whenever I find this colon, I'm going to stop my search. Okay, because my regex is ending with colon. So till colon, everything is going to be found. Okay, let's see more tuning of this. Okay, so dot character matches any character. If you add the asterisk, it's the same thing. Okay, all right. Now what I'm saying is, okay, so this becomes the explanation to the previous thing. So match the start of the line, match any character, and many times, ending with colon. Okay. Now this is a bit of, okay, is there any change out here? No, 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 no. Is there any change? I don't see a change. So, okay, okay. There's a change out here in these slides. Okay. So now what we are saying here in this case is, I want to start my search with X followed by a dash. That's a compulsory. If we are hard coding any character here, this, see, because this dash does not belong to my list of special characters. This is not in list we discussed, and that list in fact is not a complete one. There you can find a lot of things, but that covers basically most of it. Okay, there are a lot of things in regex. Okay, so starting with X and followed by colon, not colon, it's a dash, and then any non-white space. Now you see a difference. Till now we had dot, and that is why it was finding everything on the way. Now we are saying I don't want a white space to be searched. That is why you see this is in white color. That means it is not found with this regex, right? One or more times. Any non-white space, one or more times, and that is why we get these two in the search output. All right. Okay. RE.search returns true or false depending on whether the string matches the regular expression, right? It actually doesn't return true or false, whether it returns as the matched object or none, right? If we actually want the matching strings to be extracted, as I said before, if you want to extract your matching strings, you can do find all and see what your regular expression has matched in the string. Okay, like this. Okay, let's see this example. I've got this string as my two favorite numbers are 19 and 42. And I'm saying find all. My regex is 0 to 9. So 0 to 9, any number, if it finds, so it goes here and finds a number which is in the range of 0 to 9 and plus, that means one or more times. Okay, I have got another number which is following this, so it matches the both, right? I'm trying to figure out only numbers out here. This regex is only for numbers in my given string. So I get, and that is why we say that if you want your matching strings to be extracted, alright, when you want your matching strings to be extracted, you use the find all method and you get list of all your matchings. Alright, is this clear? Is everything clear so far? This is very important to understand. You would be using regular expression a lot of times if you're dealing with a lot of data searches. Yeah, that's why it is very important. And that's why we're going to discuss more on regex part. Okay, we're going to further discuss regex because it's not going to finish today, and we're going to discuss about regex in our next session also. All right. Any questions so far? Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to give you an exercise now. Okay. The exercise is I want you to write a regular expression. Okay, I want you to write a regular expression to match an email address. Okay, so do you get my question? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to write a regular expression which matches an email address. Okay, and yes, in fact, it should be a valid email address. How do you
Can you say it again?
so we
Match
want,
an email address and what?
yeah, so you should write a regular expression which should match all email addresses in the given string.
Matches all the
Email addresses.
email addresses.
Yes, email addresses in my given text or given, say for example, you have got 10 emails, okay, and those are in the form of like this. So they are like from and abc at gmail.com, and you might have some other text like comma message is hi, right? Similarly, now next would be to, for example, and then say syt at yahoo.co dot com, and then some message. You get? So I've got a list of all these text in my string, okay, and I want to extract only these email addresses, okay, using regular expression. So I want to basically form a regular expression which extracts all the email addresses from my given text. Is the question clear? No? Any doubt? Do you have any doubt?
Okay.
Yeah. So did you get my question?
No.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So I hope in the next session I would get a solution from you. Okay?
Okay.
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 And we are going to stop this session today, and we have a lot of things to discuss in regular expression also. Okay? Which we would do in our next session. Okay? Next session would not be on Friday because it's Christmas, and
Yes.
okay, and I hope everybody would be busy with the celebrations. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, yep, so let's meet on our next session, which would be on Monday, coming Monday.
Monday.
Yeah?
Okay.
And
Okay.
enjoy your holiday, enjoy Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Okay. Merry Christmas. Thank you.